I have a message for Americans, but particularly for conservatives, Republicans, and Christian conservatives and Republicans. And my message is this, is that this announcement of after the autopsy of what the Republican Party has become after losing 2 elections, national presidential elections, that they have discovered that in order to win elections, they must reach out to the Black community and to the Latino community. And in doing so, they would be able to put together a kind of a coalition of voters to put them at parity with the Democrats and the liberals. Well, all right, okay, that seems plausible. But can I just suggest something? And what I'm going to do is kind of step back, if you will, from my general rhetoric and just suggest a couple of things to you as if you want to win a national election. Understanding that blacks and Latinos make up a large part of the voting bloc, and you don't have enough strength in your own, if you will, culture and party affiliates to pull off a national election. The first thing is that the idea of trying to appeal to Black people, as with what Rand Paul did at the historic Howard University this week, is ludicrous, if not preposterous, ridiculous. Because it first of all, just in terms of understanding the mindset of a political group, it just doesn't work. It was a bit insultive, if you ask me. But the other thing is that the only way, and Republicans need to understand this, and Mitt Romney said it, and he was right when he said it. Obama won the election because he gave people stuff. He gave them things, and that's why he won. Well, that's the truth. It's the truth, whether you like it, whether you think it's racist, or whether you think it's whatever, it's the truth. That's why he won. He gives people stuff. He gives the Latinos amnesty. He gives Black people ghettos. He pays their food bills. He pays their sex bills. Black men can make babies. White people pay their bill. He pays for their rent. He pays their fuel bills. He buys their cars. The Democrats and the liberals, and Obama in particular in the lead. Unless Republicans are willing to do that, do you think by going and giving a history lesson to Black people about Republicans' involvement in the formation of the NAACP or the promotion of blacks going back 100 years ago, do you think that's going to attract Black people away from freebies, from track phones, from runaway food stamp access? Their housing is paid for. Black people, the Democrats, liberals pay Black people nearly 80% of all Black people are on some form of welfare, some form of subsidy. And some of them are 100%. Every dime they get comes from the government. And for them to go to Republicans who's not talking that and they ain't planning on doing that, I mean, are you crazy? Do you really think Black people are going to give up all of that and vote Republican? It doesn't make any sense. And, you know, they say, well, we know that. Mitt Romney told us that. But we want to make an attempt to reach out anyway, so at the very least we can say we reached out. So what's that? Just a facade? You know they're not coming, but you're going to reach out there anyway to act like you like Black people. Until you are willing. And not only do you have to pay their bills, 80% of Black people in America, not only do you have to subsidize them in some way or the other, and make sure they get government jobs, and then you got to then contend with the pinch-nosed Black people who got an education, they're pinch-nosed, but they want affirmative action. They want less requirements to get into college, they want less requirement for job applications, and they want less strenuous constraints if they do get a job for the government. They want to be treated differently. They want a different playing field. So even the pinch-nosed ones that are not getting food stamps and that are working, you got to treat them special as well. And then beyond that, Republicans, you're going to have to say to all black people, we are your oppressors. We have been mean to you. We shoot you down in the streets. We bring drugs to the community and make y'all take them. You know, we take away jobs from you. We won't put you in the history books. You got to say that. Because liberals say that all the time. Liberal white folks say that all the time to black people. We've been bad to you, so therefore we want to be good to you. You got to say that to black people. Even if you give them food stamps, and even if you give the pension those black people, like Melissa Harris Perry and all the other crowd, you know, you give them a position, give them some money so they're not on welfare and they're living in a white neighborhood and everything, and you treat them like they're white. You still got to turn around and tell them, we've been bad to you. We've been mean. We white people, we are mean. You know, we beat y'all down. We won't give you a chance. We bring drugs to your community. You got to confess that. Look at the liberals. That's what they do. Look at liberal white folk. They do that all day long, nine times on Sunday. So unless you're willing to do that, conservatives and Republicans, then you're insulting people. You really are. And now, you know, and you need to hear this. These are the words of Mitt Romney. He said Obama won because he gave people stuff. Black people want stuff. They don't want integrity. They don't want you telling them nothing about responsibility and hard work and pulling yourself up by your bootstrap. They don't want, I mean, you might as well just stand on 125th Street and march the Ku Klux Klan down through there and cuss everybody out you see that's black by telling black folk that they need to be responsible and that they need to work hard and that America's a great nation. They don't want to hear that. You think black people want to hear? You lost your mind. Black people don't want to hear that. They want to hear you say America's an awful nation. They want to hear you talking about how bad slavery was. And then they want to say, well, here's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you all this money plus our 40 acres and a mule. So and anything beyond that, conservatives and Republicans, is ridiculous. It is absolutely preposterous. I mean, I thought what Rand Paul did the other day was insulting. I mean, I'm amazed that he didn't cause a riot there at Howard University. Now, I like Rand Paul. I'm not trying to cover my tracks and things. I like Rand Paul. I do. I like Rand Paul. And I'm going to try to support him because my next person I'm going to deal with that Marco Rubio. But that's ridiculous. You people are crazy. You are absolutely out your mind if you think that you're going to attract black people without giving them money and confessing that you're bad people. Now, by the way, you know, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you're oppressors. I don't agree that America's a bad place. I don't agree that you've done the things I've said that black people want to hear you. I don't agree with any of that. Obviously, you know that I don't. But you ain't going nowhere with black people unless you say it. You ain't going nowhere with them unless you say that. So now, figure out what you want to do. Figure out, you know, are you just going to spin your wheels and start riots? Because people like Rand Paul talking to Howard University asking, it's like a first grade history class, political science class. Do you remember anybody here know who started the Republican NAACP? My God, the biggest miracle of this year is that the fact he didn't start a riot there at Howard University. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's preposterous. It's ignorant of the truth. And you know the truth. You know that the only thing you can do for black people is give them stuff. All right. Now, the next issue is this, which I find even more insultive and ridiculous, is that the other minority group are the Latinos. Now, you believe that you know that Latinos are growing. Obama has promised them amnesty. You know, they're already married to Obama. They're already engaged to him. They're already married to him. They've been on the honeymoon. Obama's promised Latinos amnesty. Oh, he said, it's going to take you 10 years. You got to get to the back of the line. But by the way, while you're here waiting the 10 years, just consider yourself citizens. We're not going to put you out. We're going to let you work. We're not going to prosecute anybody that employs you. It'll just take you 10 years before everything, you know, before we have but just you're citizens. The moment he said the DREAM Act and amnesty, it's a done deal. Nobody's going to get deported back to Mexico unless you're a criminal. and you're selling drugs or something like that, then you're probably gonna get deported. But everybody else, if you haven't committed a crime, you're a citizen of America. All 11 million Mexicans right now are citizens. Now, when they get their green card, it may be 11 years. But right now, you can walk the streets, and no police officer can, like Sheriff Joe Arpaio or anybody else, can throw you out. So there's no, what you going to offer? What Republican? What y'all going to offer the Mexicans, Latinos? What you going to offer them? What you going to offer them? They've already got their citizenship, and they got that from Obama and the Democrats. So what you going to offer them? Oh, here's what we're going to do. Well, we're going to get Marco Rubio, who is a Latino. He comes from Cuba. We're going to push him up to be a presidential candidate, and all Latinos will look up and say, the Republican, the white man, likes us Latinos because Marco Rubio is Latino. First of all, Marco Rubio is a white Latino. That's the first thing. You do have white Latinos. You know that, right? And he ain't no stomp down Mexican. He ain't no stomp down Latino. He don't know nothing about the hood. He don't even know anything about a switchblade knife. Marco Rubio ain't no Latino. He's a white Latino. He's white. He talks white. He doesn't even have it. But the truth of the matter is this: is that pushing him out there is an insult. It's disrespectful, and it's a ploy. But what's worse than that is that Marco Rubio is not a natural-born citizen. So now you have angered the 30% of the conservative Republican vote, who have given their lives to expose Obama as being wholly and completely ineligible to serve as U.S. president. And for you to turn around and slap 30% of the Republican conservatives in the face with Marco Rubio is beyond the pale. It's just beyond the pale. You have split the party. You push Marco Rubio out there, and the Republican Party is going to split. It's going to be a split because the birthers ain't going to go for it. They ain't going to go. They're giving their lives. You've swallowed hook, line, and sinker, sitting there in your smoke-filled offices, drinking your Jack Daniels and smoking your Cuban cigars, and you said, okay, let's let Obama go. We'll get him. We can beat him at the polls, which was stupid. To think that Obama was not going to win a second election. It was. I don't. Who do y'all listen to? Who y'all? Dick Morris, Karl Rove, Sarah Palin? Who y'all listening to? It was ridiculous to think that somehow that you're going to beat Obama in the second term. What's just going to happen? Everybody knows the elections are rigged anyway. And Obama's in power. So here, unless you get a Ross Perot who got money, you cannot stop a second term. You couldn't even stay. Listen, the Democrats couldn't stop a second term of George W. Bush Jr. The elections are rigged. Everybody knows it. You know it. Y'all rig them. You rig them all over America. You rig Congress for congressional elections. You rig state elections. You rig them. Everybody knows that. So the man who got the most power is the one who gets to win. And you know that. So here, pushing Marco Rubio out there is going to start a third party. The birthers, which makes up 30 to 35% of and there are many other people in the Republican Party who also know Obama's ineligible, but they've swallowed that lie. They've gone ahead and what I consider to be, a racist point of view, just let him go because you think black people are going to riot. That's ridiculous. So to push Marco Rubio out there is as ludicrous as thinking that black people are going to come to you if you're not going to buy their preachers a Cadillac and give black women all the money that they want, have all the babies that they want to have, and the government would take care of them. Even set up charter schools, and then set up special schools for blacks who have the potential to be little black children who have the potential to be pinch nose. They'll set up special schools for them and give them uniforms and give them money, and then write a special letter so they can get into Harvard. The way they did for Obama, the way Charles Rangel and Mustafa did here for Obama to get into Harvard. This is just the truth. It's just the truth. So then you would ask, I suppose, then Manning, what should we do? First of all, stand your ground. Stand your ground, because you're right. With respect to what Republicans believe, you're right. Smaller government, fewer taxes, stop the wasteful spending, stay there. Stay there. Stay right there. Stand your ground. Don't start letting that freak John McCain talk to you about, crossing the aisle. All that nonsense he talks all the time, he and that Lindsey Graham crowd. Stand your ground. Stay with smaller government, lower taxes, and expansion of businesses and enterprise. Stand your ground. Stand your ground on illegal aliens in Mexico. Stand your ground. Build a fence. Put soldiers on the border. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Listen, if they can keep the demilitarized zone, people from going back and forth from South Korea to North Korea, and nobody crosses that border, we can do the same thing here in America with Texas, Arizona, and Mexico. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. And get a decent candidate out there who's willing to stand, who's not going to waffle. Mitt Romney could have talked about his business acumen. He could have talked about that. Could have talked about his religion. Don't be if you're Mormon, then say you're Mormon. If you're a businessman, you made a lot of money, say it. Stand your ground. And then the other thing I think is very important that you need to recognize is that you only lost because the white woman voted for Obama. If you could get every vote that the white woman cast for Obama, you would have won. All things being equal, the rigging not being there, obviously, you lost your woman. Jody got your woman and gone. Jody got your woman. Jody got your squeeze. Obama is a pimp. I told y'all that back in 2008. Obama's a Mac daddy. He pimps black women and white women. Go call up the numbers, look at the polls, look at the number of white women that voted for Obama. And they wouldn't hear you. Your wife voted for him. Your grandmama voted for him. Your mama voted. Your daughters, they all voted for Obama. Because you are not demonstrating the kind of strength. You're scared. You're scared to speak the truth. You won't let anybody who speaks the truth anywhere near you. You listen to that doggone Fox News, and you won't turn it off. The white woman, get her. Get your woman to come back home. Get your woman to give up fantasizing about sex with Obama. Or somehow or another, Obama's going to raise up a whole lot of other black men. And you can win. But, these are the three things that you need to be mindful of. And until you do that, you're never going to win another election. But you can win. All you have to do, stand your ground and get your woman to come back home. Now, getting your woman to come back home from Obama is going to be a big thing because Obama's a pimp. Obama is a pimp, everybody. He is a pimp. I mean, white women drool over Obama. They see him. There are two kinds of women that deal with Obama that are white. One who can't stand him. And a lot of white women don't even want to hear his voice because what they hear and what they see it. They see the pimp in him. They see the Mac daddy in him, and it turns them off. They don't. If you present a picture of Obama to some white women, they just assume rather hear you scratch on a 10 with a 10-penny nail or on a blackboard. It turns what they are looking at, what they're responding to, is the fact in him innately, spiritually, the aura, the message he sends out is, "I'm a sexy pimp. I'm a pimp. I'm a sexy pimp. Don't you want me?" And there are many white women who would rather commit suicide than listen to Obama's voice or even watch his picture, see him on television. Now, yeah, just the opposite of that. The other white women that love Obama, they will betray you. When I said Obama's a Mac daddy, God told me that. I didn't make that up. When I said Obama's a Mac daddy, pimps black women and white women, God told me that. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to believe in God. I don't care. You're the one out there losing. But God told me Obama's a pimp, and he is. So you got to get that spell. And Obama is pimping. He is pimping black women. He's pimping men. Obama pimps white men. Chris Matthews says he gets a funny feeling running up his leg when Obama comes in the room. Obama pimps white men. I mean, they're white men that are having conniptions. I mean, their sex symbol is Obama. He's a pimp, everybody. He's a pimp. And there are many whores that are running after him. You want to win an election? I've just told you how. You want to set America back in the right place? Do those things I just outlined. I'm James David Manning, everybody, and this is the Manning Report.
All true, all the time. The Manning Report is sure to blow your